Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Natural Nail Guru, and today we're going to be talking pH bonds and primers and dehydrators. So let me tell you, when I started getting onto the internet just to get a couple little things together to do this video, I got pretty much sucked into a rabbit hole of confusing freaking information in regards to pH bond and dehydrator and primer and honestly, one company is gonna consider one thing, another thing. I don't know. It was confusing, but it made me realize one thing. I need to do two videos. So I am the Natural Nail Guru. I help you with your natural nails. Every service I do promotes natural nail health. So I don't do, enhancements or anything like that. So for today, the video is really gonna talk about primers and dehydrators in regards to just gel polish manicures, or even regular manicures. But we're definitely going to be doing a follow-up video on the in-depth information of these things, what products you shouldn't be mixing with, polishes, and, just everything, just trying to straighten out the information that's on there, because I spent almost an hour just trying to decipher one thing and confirm it, and then, it was crazy. But today we're just going to be talking about the dehydrators and pH bonds and primers, how it can help your gel manicure, why I don't use it in the shop, and so before we get into that, if you guys want to be up to date with all the most thorough information on nail product reviews, all of the tips that are going to help improve your natural nail health and be the longest lasting manicures, and you know what you need to do. Subscribe, get that notification on, make sure that you're sharing. All your nail enthusiasts need to be on this channel, because whether you are professional or DIY, I promise that there is information that's going to help you out. So let's not waste any more time and let's get to it. Okay, so pH bond, primer, dehydrator. Those are the three common things that we see the step before the gel polish, pretty much. They really aren't all the exact same thing, but they do work towards the same common goal, which is to help your nail prep and kind of get your nail bed to adhere to the product, or the product to adhere to the nail bed a little bit better. Generally speaking, dehydrators or pH bonds are going to have a liquid consistency similar to like acetone or alcohol. It is really thin, it dries really quickly, kind of gets absorbed by the nail plate immediately. It's definitely not like a polish or anything like that. Primers tend to be a little bit thicker in consistency, and generally these three things do not need any kind of UV light curing or anything like that. All of these products will get applied after you've done your manicure, but before you start applying your base coat, your color coats and stuff like that. Now, when I first started doing Gelish was the only brand that I knew of existed. So when I bought their kit, it had a pH bond. So I used it, but then when it ran out, I just kept using the base coat and the top coat, and noticed that I had no difference in my nails or the lasting of the manicure or anything like that. So I just never used it. And then fast forward a couple years, I started doing this professionally. I just do with my clients the exact same thing I would always do with my nails. So I never brought back any pH bonds or dehydrators. All of my clients experience a night and day difference when it comes to the wear or the longevity of their manicure. Everyone has long-lasting manicures. I mean, they see their manicurists and their pedicurists here with 5-week-old nails grown out as heck, but there's not one chip, one lift ever. And it's consistent. So my manicure process is what contributes to that. I do a waterless manicure. I won't get into too much details on that video today. I've done videos on it before, and I'll be following up again. But my manicure process is what guarantees me such a long-lasting manicure with every single client. And I want to say that like 90% of my clients come back with perfect manicures no matter how long they kept their nails on. And then I got that little 10% that they'll come back with little chips here and there, and some that, still pick sometimes, even though they're not supposed to, don't pick. But, I definitely contribute my long-lasting manicures to my manicure process, which is why I never used the pH bond. I never saw the need to buy it again. I just really wasn't in the habit of it. Now, recently, I just did a review of the Rosalind Gel brand. If you haven't seen that review, check it out. Amazon, fine, super cheap, really great review, really great product. You can check it out. But in their kit, they had a primer. So I had my usual clients out there testing out the Rosalind Gel brand versus the Gelish, and then I had 3 clients that we did just a Rosalind gel product manicure on, but one hand had the primer and one hand didn't, because I wanted to see whether or not the primer made any difference. Now, 2 out of those 3 clients came back with their nails perfect, but they always come back perfect, so I wasn't surprised. One of those clients is a working girl, man. That girl's got her hands building stuff and dirt and all that stuff all the time. So it's common for her to come back on her 3 main working fingers, a couple of chips and scuffs. It happens. happens. But I noticed that when she came back after her couple of weeks, the hand that usually comes back a couple of chips, it didn't have any chips. It had some scuffs on it from, you know, whatever was scratching her nails and whatever she was putting them through, but the polish around it was completely intact, and it was the hand that I put the primer on. So that definitely triggered me into pinpointing those few clients that, you know, start picking or that have little lifting that happens behind their nail because of their hair or anything like that. It really triggered me to start pinpointing them real quick and start testing out a primer on them to see whether or not it helps them, because these are people that have habits. So I definitely want to check it out, and I'm going to be giving you guys that information coming up. I would say maybe within the next like month and a week or so. It does take me some time to do reviews, but that's because I'm testing stuff out. So it's worth the wait. You guys will get followed up on that. But after her manicure, I really did feel and see that the primer 100% made a difference on what she's been coming back with. I mean, she's been my client for 4 years now, so I know what to expect with her nails, and I've never seen a scuff that didn't have just at least a tiny little bit of chipping around it. So I was really impressed. And I can definitely see how a primer or a dehydrator can really contribute to your manicure process, but do not rely on that product alone, because if your manicure process isn't on point and you have a lot of moisture in the nail, a lot of cuticle that's still on the nail plate and that oil is going to get into, that dehydrator or primer is not going to miraculously take that away, and you're still going to experience chipping and lifting. So remember, your manicure process really should be your number one focus in tightening up so that you can get a longer lasting manicure. But the pH bond and the primer, it's not that expensive. It's a quick step, and it can definitely just help give you a little more reassurance that that adhesion is happening, although you really don't need it. It can definitely help. And as a follow-up, I'm going to be testing out my few clients that, you know, will more often come back with a chip or a scuff or something like that. I'm going to be having them test out primers, and we're going to see whether or not we can, you know, tighten that up a little bit more. And in the meantime, test out different brands to let you know whether or not any of them are better than others, and get you more information on that, as well as getting you some more information on just bonds, primers overall, what products you should be using them with or not using them with. So for those that do enhancements, that information is going to be coming, and hopefully I can bring it to you a little bit more cohesive. So it was a lot of talking today. So sorry about that, but this is definitely an important subject. And after everything that I found and got confused on today, a very important subject to try to clear up a little bit for everyone out there. So if you got your notifications on, don't worry, you're gonna get notified as soon as that video comes out. We have lots more coming, and definitely be staying tuned for waterless manicure, why I don't use water, why you shouldn't use water. You can check out some of the older videos, but I will be following up within the next week or so. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Please comment down below any questions that you have or brands that you want me to check out now that I am in this whirlpool of pH bonds and primers and dehydrators. Please, any questions, any comments, anything that you think is going to help me in this, I would really, really appreciate it, as well as anything else that you guys need me to talk about or review or get into depths with. I'm here for it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you all later. Bye.